Hey everyone, this is Will from Junk Rins, and sorry if it doesn't feel, if I don't sound like that I feel good or anything like that, because I kind of don't. I've been fighting that cough, as you know, and I really didn't have the medicine that I needed to fight it, and so I was having to do a lot of cough drops, and the cough drops, essentially they messed up my tongue, and I don't really feel good today. I had to take some painkillers last night. So anyway, but I am excited today, and I'm trying to maintain a level of contain my excitement, because if I don't, I will go into a coughing fit. Excuse me. Two more packages came in, and here's the unboxing of them. Here's this first one, and here's the second one. So first, let's open this one here. Find out what we got here. Uh-oh. Godzilla. This is the 1998 American version that Toho actually bought the rights to, just so that they could rebrand him as Zilla and have him fight Godzilla in one of the movies. Disc is just a little bit scratched up. It's used, obviously, but it should play. They said that it's been tested and everything like that. So anyway, I'm gonna look forward to watching this, because this actually, because of Toho buying the rights to it, I'm going to consider it one of Godzilla's enemies that he fights. Very similar to Mothra, Rodan, other monsters that did have their own movies. And now, this is the big surprise package right here. This is the big surprise package. This is what I've been waiting on to come in for a long, long time. There's a fair amount of tape around it. Get this tape off. And I'm sorry, folks, about this cough that I have. It's an anxiety cough, and it's not real fun at all. I've had a lot of stress on me as of late, and that I've got to get off. Let me get a pair of scissors just real quick. They're right here across the room. Need to make this unboxing about as easy as possible. Man, they just sealed this whole thing up in tape. I like it that they sealed it up good. trying to come down the sides here real quick. There we go. I was having to try that. There we go. And now it's time for the big unveiling of what this is. And I'm going to tell you the story behind it. It's this. The Supercard Mini SD. Now the story behind this is I have a Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. And I like to go back and play some of the old games. Old games like Godzilla and or Super Mario Brothers. You know, that were available on Game Boy. So forth like that. Well, if you are a child of the 80s and 90s, excuse me, and you grew up with a Game Boy, you understand the struggle of having to try to get the right lighting. You either would have to have a headlamp or a little worm light, in which that it would create glare, it would block your way to the screen. It was just a hassle. Well, then Nintendo came out with the Game Boy Advance SP, and then later on even the DS. Pull out the DS here. This is my wife's DS that I've used and she's used, and of course it has a Game Boy Advance slot like the old DS does. And I'll show you a little bit of the back screen on it. Now it shows up fine right here in daylight, or in a room rather. It shows up fine in a room, but if trying to play, and in the dark, but trying to play in daylight, it was horrible. So the problems with the with the lighting with the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, if you didn't have any light, you couldn't see. With the Game Boy Advance SP, I'm recording. With the Game Boy Advance SP and the DS, if you had too much light, you really wouldn't be able to see. The DS Lite came out, which actually has the best backlight from the early models. You can see it fine in low light or dim light. There's one in the fridge that's cold. Freezer? No, refrigerator. Wife's just trying to get something to drink to go with her breakfast. Well, in playing the Game Boy games in those conditions. It was horrible until this came out. Well, the problem is that the Game Boy Advance games, they fit in the DS just fine. The old Game Boy games do not. There are, and I don't have a light, but in the Game Boy Advance slot, let me get my phone here and I'll try to show you. There we go. Now you can see them. You see those little tab things on the edges? Right there, and then look right over there. Those are little tabs that stop the Game Boy games from even being inserted. I saw one video where someone took apart the DS, filed them down, and where they could put the game in, but it wouldn't read because it doesn't have the right chip. And so there's the thing of having a headlamp, but then who wants to always have to remember a headlamp to play an old game? There's the option of getting the SP, but that presents the same problems as the DS. And then there's the option about getting a mod for a backlight, either already pre-installed in the Game Boy Advance or buying the kit and installing it myself. If I get the Game Boy Advance pre-built, then there's the problem of there's the problem there is the problem of it costing a whole lot, far more than I'm willing to pay. And then there's the other problem of having to install it yourself, which involves soldering. Of course, then we have the thing of the problem that I already carry around my 3DS, and I carry around the DS Lite. I don't want to carry around a third system. And in fact, I found these on sale at Walmart. I found these on sale at Walmart, and it's, you put the games in them, and so it's like, I'm gonna need this anyway, so I'm glad I got it out. I don't want to carry around a whole bunch of systems with me. And so I got to thinking, and I got to doing some research, and I'm like, this is the answer. Now, there are better ones, but this is the cheapest one. Excuse me. This is the cheapest one. And here it is. Supercard Mini SD. Now I'm going to show you how to operate this. And so just bear with me. Good thing I have my computer up. First thing that you're going to have to do, and this is AVGN, I like watching him. First thing you're going to need to do, and I actually have the pages bookmarked. Let's see. And I'm going to put links to this in the bottom of the video. But you go to minihere.com/Supercard Mini SD tutorial video. And then there's the flashcard firmware software download. And so you're going to download this firmware and stuff. And then of course there's the video and whatnot. And you'll know you'll get the right thing because it's going to look like this. It's going to say Supercard V2.66 or something. for SD version. Now, I'm gonna go down, excuse me, and you're gonna get an icon that says Supercard. You're gonna click on it. You have game list, options, add, delete, and out. Let me zoom in. Add, delete, and out. You're going to go to options. You're going to select your file path. That's the out path. Oh, sorry, I didn't see this menu pop up. Now you're going to get one of these right here, and you're going to have to get a 2 gig card. Now this doesn't accept anything more than a 2 gig card. The Mini Supercard SD. So you select your path, and I'm just going to close that. Game list. You go to game list. Well, hold up. You're going to select your path. You're going to select, I didn't really mess with any of those. Didn't really mess with the language either. You're going to go to add. And you go and you add your ROMs. Now, you have Game Boy Advance ROMs that have to go through a patcher. And then there's Nintendo DS, and then IDS.bin and .zip, whatnot. I'd like to come down and go ahead and try to patch any of them. So I have everything all set up. But it's like what you do is, like, for example, Dragon Ball Z, Legacy of Goku 1 and 2. Open that, click yes. It's going to come up here, and of course this says patch failed and stuff like that. This says patch failed, but anyway, you add it in and patch, and then you go out, and it will put it on your card. In fact, I'll show you the actual process. I'm going to run it through one more time, because that probably sounded a little confusing. You're going to want a let's hold that down. A micro SD card. 2 gig is the max it'll support. This is my adapter. And I do not advise doing this unless if you do not own the game. So let me just delete these right here. Alright. You're going to go to Supercard. You have game list. Of course, you have options. Let me select the right path. That comes up. Under SD card, Game Boy Advance, Okay. Go to game list. Add. And I'm not going to tell you where to get ROMs from. You just have to try to figure that out on your own. So it's legacy. Patched, yes. You see it's all patched there. We go out. You click out, it'll say complete. And then we come down to start. File Explorer. And this will work on Windows 10. SD card. GBA for Game Boy Advance. Scroll all the way down. Well, scroll all the way down. And there it is, Zoid's Legacy. It's on the card. And then we close that out. I'm just going to close that down for a minute. And then we put up this adapter. Cut these off. That's just my phone going off. Alright, you have the Supercard Mini SD, and it has the adapter to it. Gotta get it out here. And then it uses, and it comes with this micro SD. Now I noticed that this was a Kingston, and so to keep everything uniform, I got a Kingston micro card. Oops. So then we slide that in, and then this slides in this way. And if all works well, then it should fit in there. And then we open this up. Start GBA. And there's GBA, GBC, GB for Game Boy, and then NES. So now let's try a Game Boy Advance game. Well, for some reason, this is only picking up 65 of the games here. So, let's just come down here to this just really advanced. This is just really weird that it's only picking up 65 games. Well,
fly to Mexico on a moment's notice. Very happy, thanks.
Thanks. Oh, is that why you're here? I'm fresh out, but you should try the others. Richie and Gary, Judith. They called it with their gratitude.
Well, let's just give it a shot and see.
No point reeling in the ears now, is there? Need to figure out what kind of demonic killer walks into the house making sweat.
Well, it plays good. And let me look to see about how to actual save, because there are instructions to save. Alright, what it says to do to save, L or select an A. Now that is going to be very hard to do on the thing, but it comes up to save. Let's see. Come up here. When you see I'm in another room, and then so we go.
You said that I was great.
Well, I figured it was out.
When you left my bed and I drawer upstairs at the bath, my sheets made me cold, John.
That's a little bit weird. Well, select A. Anyway, just cut that off and I'm gonna figure out how to save and load, and then I'm gonna come back to y'all after we just check to see other stuff. Game Boy Color. Since we're in Godzilla mode, we're gonna.
Your baby's alive. I know who took it.
And that's weird. That one didn't work.
It won't make more sense. But it will make you
Oh, don't want to go to that.
Please, Glenn. The server's connected to an infant soul. Your soul is telling us
From what I've heard, certain games will work, certain games won't.
Garden of Eden, forbidden fruit rounding about. You try to tell me that I don't need to my boy. Not eating fruit. Or resistance. They turned down Adam's proposal before he said yes. Chosen eternity as goddesses of hell. A lifetime of being eternal. It's not to blame me. My dear was a good Catholic. I would God let this happen to her, to Diego.
This is God's
Well,
evil reigns.
these Game Boy Color games seem to not be wanting to work on this.
What for 14 years? I felt so helpless. I was that kind of listening. I'll let the Almighty take his time out. We've got plenty to walk by ourselves with. I'm figuring out.
There's help right there. Press LRB select to enter real-time save. Press LR start select to return to the menu. LRA select,
things we can do.
enter the save serve.
Your arrogance is out of control.
It took another baby.
Hey! Hey! Sorry, I didn't recognize you with your clothes on.
There we go.
You paid too?
I'll tell you about it over drinks. Which one's on me?
Let me pay for these first.
Well, that one just sucked. That one just froze up. It could be the ROMs that I have are faulty too, so.
So you strip naked at postman?
Oh yeah, it's right for help.
This is just the Game Boy.
What about you? Will you even study hard? No, I don't do that. I got higher chances.
Drawing. Read it to me.
Notice your work.
No, you wouldn't. You really wouldn't.
Now that was a unlicensed game. I just tried, got Exodus.
Okay?
May have saved your life.
We're going to find her. We'll start by dusting for prints. There won't be any prints. Con permiso, señor. O hijo. Insisto en verte. Mateo, ¿qué haces aquí? Soy yo, papá. ¿Es tu nombre? ¿Por qué no la
It's I think that it's just the ROMs that I have are faulty.
your son, and the missing baby is your granddaughter. If you piss off a gypsy, mate, get your whole brood cursed. The killer is targeting your family. You two just carry on catching. You're honest to catch. That phone over.
But I've seen it on the videos play NES games, Game Boy games, Game Boy Color games. So it's like, yeah, I've seen it do it. Let me try it on DS just to make sure. Not DS, but the Game Boy Advance. And then I'm gonna try to figure, and if it doesn't work on this, I'm gonna try and figure some stuff out. That's right, folks. We're doing this all real time.
We need you upstairs. Your room is very upstairs.
Okay, so it's not the DS or the Game Boy Advance. It's probably the ROMs that I got. So let me see if I can find some different versions of the ROMs, and I will get back with y'all. Alright everyone, I'm back. I think I figured this out. What you do, what I did, I was running into a problem with the Supercard thing, because when I would load the ROMs from the games that I own onto the SD card and onto the thing, onto the Supercard, when I load it onto the Supercard for the and put it into the game, into the DS, it wasn't picking up everything. And so what I did on it, when I went to add, I would load no more than 5 at a time. Excuse me. And when I would load no more than 5 at a time, take it 5 at a time, it finally all got on there. So I have the games on the on that. Now, as for the NES games, Game Boy Color games, Game Boy games, and I actually think this cough is getting worse. Just a sec. Alright, everyone, I have a cough drop. I'm back. Okay. Now, with the NES games, the Game Boy Color games, and the Game Boy games, you do not bring them through the Supercard. You don't bring them through the Supercard. Excuse me. Yeah, so the Supercard, you do not need it. What you do, and well, now my computer's acting funny. There we go. And all my games got loaded up on there. And so I currently have Godzilla on there, a game I just got. So let's go over to Game Boy, and we drag and drop Jurassic Park, Game Boy Color, oh, Deer Hunter, NES. Copy these over. One of them is English dubbed, well, not dub, but translation crack of Saint Seiya Ogun Densetsu. And so now we take out our cord, and I don't have my speakers plugged in, that's why you can't hear much of anything. And with the Supercard, it doesn't go in like this, it goes in like this. There we go. Now close down the computer a little bit. And whoop, trying to open it the wrong way. And come out a little bit. Start GBA game. GBA. And I've heard that it's like that the games don't run as fast, but I haven't played enough on it to really tell the difference. Let's see. What do we want to do? Now this is Game Boy Advance, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Well, let's go on into it. Anyway. And I'm just going about it the long way about restarting it and stuff. But it works good. Game Boy Color. Let's give it a shot. I don't know. In this game, you basically just kind of come around and till you find markings. I'm gonna have to really find out how to play this game again. Anyway, I'm gonna have to find the instruction manual to my game or look one up. This is really just a thing to show you that it works. And there's ways of going about finding out how to change the color on the screen. NES. And so you see it does work. Works good on that. And now it's time to check it out to do the test, because I've heard that it doesn't work on the GameCube, but we're going to check that out here in just a second. First, I want to find out how to change the color on the screen. So let me. How to change color on screen. My phone.
What did you do? Depends on my PC today. Cardiac arrest. It gets with the subject's spirit.
Well, we'll try different things here, because I mean it's a learning experience. It's definitely a learning curve to this thing, but you do L and R at the same time.
Sure, ready. You are?
Display.
Oh, she be worried. She'll be proud of you. Come here.
And there we go. Now it's gray. The way it should be. So that's how that does. Now, time to go check this out on the GameCube with the Game Boy Advance player. Alright everyone, we're going to try this out on the GameCube. My wife knows whether it works or not, but this is for the official video here. Come over to our switch box. Excuse me, go to our AV. Pop on our light here. And you see we have Game Boy player in. Pop that in there. Let's see. Cut off the light here, because this is going to put to bed whether this thing works on the GameCube or not. Alright, GBA game. Look at that. And then we go to our reset. Next is Game Boy Color. Oh, look at there. Look at that, it's working. I don't know what version of this that someone else had, but it works. Oh, oh. Go down to Game Boy. And then we're gonna put this display. Look at that. Man, it's working. This is awesome. Oh, I didn't want to go there. See, works. So, you can see that it works. Works on the Game Boy Advance. Works on the DS, and of course I didn't prove it works on the Game Boy Advance, but it works on the GameCube player. Works on the DS. Everything that it needs to work on, it works on. And we know how to put the games on there. For the old NES, Game Boy Color games, you just drag and drop. For the Game Boy Advance games, you go through the Supercard 5 at a time. No more than 5 at a time, and you will be fine. And I'll post the links on where to get the software for the Supercard down in the info box below. And y'all take care. Y'all have a good one. Hey everyone, this is Will from I'm back at the end of this video, and I just wanted to say that on the Supercard Mini SD, I figured out how to do the save feature. I want to bring that to you real quick. I did not want to leave that out. I'm going to show you real quick. What you do is you press, you do a really tough, it's tough to do it on the DS, but you're going to do LR, select, and B. And I'll show you. I just come down to a game here. It's yeah, this is coming up to Power Rangers SPD. This should be good for showing you. Let's get past that. Okay. Okay. L, R, select, and B. I'm going to save. And it's tough to do on the DS because the button position. I'm just going to. Okay. And then LR. Select. And B. And go load. Are you sure? Yes. You see I'm back here. Anyway, that's how you do it. I just figured I'd let you know. So, y'all have a good one.